Welcome to part 2 of this story on petals and pride. Previously, we shared the journey of a friendship that began during a carefree summer at church camp. Over the years, Tyler and I faced emotional challenges, personal growth, and life pulling us in different directions. We left off with Tyler's return to camp, this time with a fiancée, rekindling unresolved feelings, and a heartfelt conversation that left our paths uncertain. Now, in part 2, we'll continue the story. It's about reconnecting after years apart, embracing second chances, and building a life together full of love, resilience, and understanding. Let's pick up where we left off. Segment 7, A Second Chance. Years had passed since I last saw or spoke to Tyler. Life carried me forward. New routines, new responsibilities, but thoughts of him were always near. The memories of us, still vivid, still unyielding, no matter how hard I tried to let them fade. Then one day, my mom called. Her tone seemed casual, but there was something behind her words. "Tyler's been asking for your number," she said. "He says he needs to talk to you." My heart skipped a beat. What could he want now? I hesitated. What was this, good or bad? Would it reopen old wounds? But curiosity won out. After a brief pause, I said, "Give him my number." Days later, my phone buzzed. Tyler's name. It sent a wave of emotions through me. Emotions I wasn't ready for. I answered. His voice familiar, but different. It had been reshaped by time, by experience. He got straight to the point. His voice was hesitant, but sincere. I wanted to reach out because, well, my marriage ended. Soft, steady. It ended because of me. Because I've been hiding a part of myself I can't ignore anymore. He took a breath. I realized that I can't keep running from who I am. And I can't keep running from you. His words hit me, like a tidal wave. It was surreal to hear him say what I'd wondered all along. Tyler went on, explaining his secret relationships, how they led to his marriage breaking down. And now, he wanted to be honest with himself and with me. "I want to be with you." His voice trembled, as if he was finally laying his heart bare. I was overwhelmed. Relief, joy, and a touch of fear. Could we really pick up the pieces? Yet, I couldn't deny the hope that was slowly growing in my chest. A few weeks later, Tyler visited me in New York City. I opened the door, and there he was, nervous, determined. His familiar smile lit up the moment, and without saying a word, he leaned in and kissed me. That kiss, it spoke volumes. A mix of longing, relief, and a connection that time couldn't diminish. We spent the next few days reconnecting, as if the years had never passed. We laughed. We talked for hours. We revisited memories of our shared past, and opened up about the challenges we had faced, and the growth we had experienced. As we walked through the streets of the city, Tyler told me how much he had missed me, how often he thought of the moments we shared, how he regretted not facing his truth sooner. I admitted I had felt the same. A quiet longing had followed me through the years. For the first time in forever, things between us felt clear. The connection had never truly faded. It had simply been waiting for the right moment to resurface. Now, standing on the edge of something new, I couldn't help but feel this was exactly where we were meant to be. Tyler's visit marked the beginning of something new. A second chance at the bond we had always shared. We didn't know what the future held, but we were ready to face it together, one step at a time. Segment 8, Building a Life Together. After years of navigating the complexities of our relationship and the challenges life had thrown our way, Tyler and I were finally ready to start a new chapter together. It felt like the culmination of everything we'd endured, the doubts, the separation, the self-discovery, and now we had the chance to build the life we had always dreamed of. When Tyler moved in with me, it was both exciting and daunting. Sharing a home meant sharing not just the good times, but also the struggles, the adjustments, and the learning curve that comes with blending two lives. There were moments of joy, like cooking dinner together and laughing at our inside jokes, and moments of growth as we worked through the challenges of learning to live as partners, not just friends. Not long after, same-sex marriage was legalized. I remember the moment we heard the news. the overwhelming sense of hope and validation that swept over us. It was as though the world had finally acknowledged what we had known all along, that our love was real, worthy, and deserving of recognition. We didn't waste any time. With smiles on our faces and tears in our eyes, we planned a simple yet beautiful wedding, a wedding that reflected everything we valued: love, commitment, and the promise of standing by each other no matter what. Our vows were heartfelt, deeply personal, a reflection of the journey that had brought us to that day. When we exchanged rings, it felt like more than just a tradition. It was a symbol of everything we had overcome and everything we were building together. Surrounded by friends and family who supported and celebrated us, we began our new life as a married couple, ready to take on whatever the future held. But our story didn't end there. We wanted to grow our family, to share the love we had with someone who needed it most. After many conversations and careful thought, we made the decision to adopt. That's when Patrick came into our lives, a bright-eyed child who instantly captured our hearts. Parenthood was a journey neither of us were fully prepared for, but one we embraced wholeheartedly. At first, it wasn't easy. We faced the challenges that come with raising a child: sleepless nights, balancing work and home life, and learning to navigate the fears and doubts of being first-time parents. But through it all, our love for Patrick and our commitment to each other kept us strong. As Patrick grew, we built a home that was rooted in love, respect, and understanding. We wanted him to feel secure, to know that no matter what, he was cherished and valued. We were intentional about creating a space where he could thrive, a space filled with laughter, learning, and unconditional support. One of the most meaningful moments came when Patrick, still young but wise beyond his years, asked us about our relationship. He wanted to know why he had two dads and what that meant. We sat him down and explained, in the simplest and most heartfelt way, that love is what makes a family. It's not about who you are or where you come from. It's about the commitment you make to care for and support one another, no matter what. Those conversations were a reminder of why we had fought so hard to build this life together. Our family wasn't perfect, but it was ours, and it was built on a foundation of honesty, compassion, and unwavering love. Looking back now, I realize how far we've come, from those uncertain days of youth to the solid partnership we share today. Building a life together wasn't always easy, but it was always worth it. Every challenge, every triumph, every quiet moment in between has brought us closer, and I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. Segment 9, Teaching Love. As Patrick grew older, his natural curiosity about the world around him only deepened. He was a bright, thoughtful child, always full of questions and eager to understand the things that made people who they were. It wasn't long before his questions turned to our relationship, why he had two dads, how our family came to be, and what that meant for him as he navigated his own place in the world. We knew those moments would come, and we wanted to approach them with honesty and openness. So one evening, as Patrick sat with us at the kitchen table, we decided it was time to have one of those important conversations. He looked at us with wide, curious eyes and asked, "Why are things different for us? Why don't I have a mom like some of my friends?" Tyler and I shared a glance, silently acknowledging the importance of what we were about to say. I reached for Patrick's hand, holding it gently as I began to speak. "Patrick," I said, "every family is unique in its own way. Some families have a mom and a dad. Some have just one parent. And some, like ours, have two dads. What makes a family isn't how it looks on the outside. It's the love, trust, and commitment we share with each other." Tyler chimed in, his voice warm and reassuring. "You see, buddy, love is what matters most. It doesn't matter who you are or who you love. What's important is that we care for each other, support each other, and always make sure the people we love know just how much they mean to us." Patrick listened intently, his young mind processing our words with the quiet wisdom that children so often possess. "So it's all about love?" he asked, his tone thoughtful. "Yes," I said, smiling. "It's all about love." From that day forward, We made it a priority to ensure Patrick grew up in a home filled with understanding, compassion, and acceptance. We wanted him to know that he could always come to us with his thoughts and feelings, no matter what. We encouraged him to explore his own identity, to ask questions, and to see the beauty and the diversity of the world around him. As the years passed, Patrick blossomed into a kind and empathetic young man. He carried with him the lessons we had tried so hard to teach, that love transcends boundaries, that it is the foundation of any strong relationship, and that it should be the guiding force in life. When Patrick reached the age where relationships became part of his own story, we often found ourselves reminiscing about the early days of raising him. We were proud, not just of the life we had built together, but of the values we had instilled in him. We hoped, more than anything, that he would find happiness, no matter who he chose to share his life with. We watched him grow into someone who approached the world with an open heart, someone who understood that love isn't confined by gender or societal expectations. And as we reflected on our journey as a family, we were filled with gratitude for the life we had created, a life rooted in love, respect, and the belief that acceptance can change the world. Love is love. In the end, all we ever wanted was for our family to thrive, a simple but profound wish that guided every choice we made. Life, as it often does, brought its fair share of challenges, unexpected twists, and moments that tested our strength. But through it all, one truth remained steadfast. Love is love, and that's what matters most. Our family wasn't bound by convention or shaped by society's expectations. Instead, it was built on a foundation of unconditional love, mutual respect, and the unyielding belief that we could face anything as long as we had each other. Every shared laugh, every heartfelt conversation, every quiet moment spent together strengthened the bond that held us close. As the years passed, we found ourselves reflecting on the journey that had brought us here. From the uncertain days of youth to the hard-earned wisdom of adulthood, our path was anything but straight. It was filled with moments of self-discovery, vulnerability, and courage. The courage to stand by each other and to embrace the life we had created. We knew that the world didn't always understand us, and at times, we faced questions and judgments that sought to challenge the legitimacy of our love. But we refused to let those moments define us. Instead, we leaned into the values that anchored us: compassion, understanding, and an unshakable commitment to the family we had built together. Patrick grew into a thoughtful and kind-hearted young man, a reflection of the love and care we had poured into him. Watching him navigate his own life with empathy and grace was one of the greatest joys we could have asked for. Through him, we saw the impact of the lessons we had worked so hard to teach, that love transcends boundaries, that it is a force powerful enough to create change, and that it is the heart of what it means to belong. At the end of the day, our family wasn't perfect, no family is, but it was ours, and it was rooted in the unshakable belief that love, in all its forms, is what truly makes a family. It didn't matter what challenges life brought our way, or how many obstacles we had to overcome. We knew we could weather it all as long as we had each other. Looking back, the journey hadn't always been easy, but it had been worth it. Every trial, every triumph, every quiet moment in between. Love was what carried us through. Love was what defined us. And love was what gave us the strength to build a life together, no matter what the world might say. Because in the end, it all came down to one simple truth. Love is love, and that is what matters most. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Petals and Pride. We hope you enjoyed the journey and connected with our story. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. We're always looking for ways to improve. So if you have any ideas or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. As always, thank you for being part of our community. Let's keep spreading love, support, and pride. Until next time, stay proud, stay vibrant, and keep blooming with petals and pride.